If you're looking to buy a CFMoto 675SS, here's 5 things that I wish I would have known before I bought this motorcycle. Not to say that they're bad, not to say that they're good, but there's 5 things that I wish I would have known before I would have picked up this motorcycle. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. I'm going to start this guy up. We're going to go for a nice drive, but if you guys are new to the channel, what is up? My name is Jeffrey, and on this channel, we are all about purpose over comfort and faith over fear. So I'm all about going after your dreams. There's so many people in life that are going to tell you to not go after your dreams and not go after the things you want to go after. But out of the sea of people that tell you not to, I want to at least be the one person that tells you go after your dreams. But with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna go this way, I think. With that being said, oh, this bike sounds so good with this exhaust on. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is the power delivery. So the power delivery on this bike, not to say that it's bad. If you've driven other sport bikes, you might be a tad bit disappointed just because of the way this makes power. This makes power very linearly and smoothly. This is an inline 3-cylinder, makes about 90, I forgot, like 90 something horsepower to the crank. I think when people were actually dynoing it, it was like in the 80s or high 70s, something like that, to the actual wheel. So it's not like this thing is a slouch under any stretch of the imagination, but it's not like this thing is like a rocket ship, if that makes sense. I don't think I can make it through this. Maybe I can. Oh yeah, I can. It's a rocket ship. The power is very predictable, it's very smooth, very linear. It still is an inline 3, so it makes most of its power up top inside the rev range, which is not bad. It's what you want for a sport bike. But the way that it delivers power, it's much more, I don't know how to quite explain it. It is suited for, you know, daily driving, commuting, stuff like that. You're still going to have a lot of fun with it. It's not like it's like a slouch under any stretch of the imagination. It still feels really fun. It's a light bike. It feels fun. But if you're used to other 600cc 4-cylinders, you might be a tad bit disappointed. You might feel like, oh, this is like not as powerful, not as quick. But I still really like this bike. I feel like it's fine. The power is like perfect for what I want this bike to be. Before I had this, I had a KTM 890 Adventure. That was a, what is it, a parallel twin that made close to, it's like 100 and something horsepower. I forgot the exact numbers, but that felt very torquey down low. Like down low, that thing would pull hard. It could pop a wheelie without really trying. So it's just a little bit different. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention on here is the suspension. So this suspension isn't bad. It's a tad bit more budget, but that's what you would expect on a motorcycle like this. It's not the most adjustable that you could do on other sport bikes where you can adjust everything. Even on the KTM, you could adjust the suspension, like the preload and everything like that. And this is not as bad. I mean, you can technically adjust it, but it feels fine. It's a tad bit more softer than other sport bikes, which isn't bad. Once again, I feel like, especially nowadays, they are making motorcycles that are meant to be used, you know, all the time. These are bikes that are meant to be used on the daily basis. They're not as aggressive as back in the day, like an R6. You know, way more aggressive, just suspension and everything like that. It's not to say that this is like soft, but when you are driving hard through corners and things like that, you can feel the difference. It's not terrible. But I feel like for most people, you're not going to notice the difference. Like, I mean, back in the day, my Gixxer 600 felt definitely more aggressive with the suspension. Once again, it's not to say that this is bad. I feel like this is set up nicely. But if you're gonna really be doing like track days and stuff like that, you are gonna find some of the limitations and things like that. But once again, majority of people, you're not gonna notice a difference. You're literally not gonna notice a difference at all. On a quick side note, after I just did the road trip, I installed this Atlas throttle lock. Oh my god, this thing is like a lifesaver. Look at that. It's so nice. Also, I am in the state of California. You can legally lane split. I feel like I have to always say that just so people know. Why am I doing that? But now I do want to say, it sounds like I'm complaining when I'm saying the suspension is a tad bit softer, but I mean that as a compliment, because of this type of bike, especially like now, yeah, with the R7, even the Suzuki, was it the R8, I want to say, the parallel twin motorcycles, like they're not as aggressive as back in the day. Some of the other bikes, when they were the inline fours, this car, they're not as aggressive as these other motorcycles were before in the past. So it makes sense that the suspension is just different, which is nice. I like it because it doesn't feel as just, I don't know, as aggressive. Like, you don't quite need that on the street, you know what I mean? Most people, you're going to be just riding these bikes on the street, just commuting and doing stuff like this, nothing crazy for the majority of the bike's life. It just makes sense that manufacturers are making bikes that are just more suited for like what riders are actually using them for. They're using them to ride, and you know, that's fine. But the other thing I wanted to mention is the parts availability, and I talked about this before inside another video. I want to say that is the downside with CFMoto right now. They're still fairly newish. Getting parts is harder for sure versus the Japanese bikes. I mean, there's like no shortage of parts you can find for a Honda CV, 600, Fireblade, the Gixxer, Yamaha. No shortage. You can find parts pretty much on all of the major manufacturers. Aftermarket parts, they've been making them for a while, so you can find parts. With the CFMoto, it still is, I don't want to say slim picking, but the pickings aren't as, available yet, which is to be expected. It's still a little bit newer. It's going to take some time. Getting parts, like getting the exhaust, I had to get my exhaust. I know there's like another manufacturer that makes like I think it's a better one. I know their name starts with like a V. This exhaust I have right now is just like a basic eBay exhaust. So like this exhaust, it's not terrible. I think it sounds pretty good, to tell you the truth. Even like looking at the welds and everything on it. But like getting parts from like another manufacturer are a bit harder, just because they don't quite make them yet. Even getting this windscreen, had to order it off I think AliExpress. I even tried ordering it off of Amazon. Like it's still, I have one that was ordered on Amazon that still never showed up. Stuff has to be shipped over from China. So that's like the negative thing. Like getting parts, it takes a longer time. There's not as much stuff that's here. You have to get stuff shipped over from China, and then yeah, I gotta go through that whole debacle, which it is the price to pay. It's a price to pay for sure, but it is what it is. but you're gonna have to take that into consideration. But for me, the thing that I just did was order your parts, try to go to the most reputable sellers that you can find, and you know, just wait. But the good thing is though, a lot of the parts were cheaper. I mean, like doing the, I got the crash bar off Amazon. That wasn't expensive. The exhaust wasn't expensive as compared to like other exhausts you could get. And I think this sounds pretty good for the price. Like literally, this thing was like, I don't even know, maybe like it's less than 300 bucks. I know that. And doing the windscreen, which like I don't know how much. I forgot how much that was. That wasn't too expensive either. And doing all the other stuff, I mean, you can go crazy with parts and things. You want fake carbon fiber parts, which I think, you know, that looks a bit catty, but it's up to, you know, it's up to your discretion. But you can get them. You just gotta just order them. You know, order them. They take some time, but they'll be there. And then the other thing is with these motorcycles, the thing that, you know, oh yeah, we're like getting close to Disney, I believe. Maybe. Actually, I think we are. Oh yeah, we are. I knew it. But the other thing with these bikes is the other thing with these bikes, which is kind of going back to the other topic I was talking about, of manufacturers making motorcycles, you know, more for what people are going to be using them for, is just the fact that this is more comfortable than what you would think. I know I've already shown like my seating position on here. It is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a sport bike, but compared to in the past, some of these other bikes, where the seating position was a lot more aggressive. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. How much more, oh, I guess I'll go this way. I can't emphasize that enough, how much more aggressive. Oh yeah, Disney Way. I can't quite emphasize that enough, how aggressive some of these bikes were before in the past. These are way more relaxed. I'm still upright inside of sport bike positioning, but it's not as bad as what it once was before. I just took this on a road trip to Vegas and back, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't, you know, perfect, but putting like the cruise control thing on helps out a lot. So I think this is a very dailyable motorcycle that you could ride and not kill yourself, if that makes sense. You could ride this thing around, not kill yourself, have some fun. Oh, bumpy. Where am I gonna go? Let's go this way actually. Yeah, but you can ride this thing and not kill yourself, and it's fairly comfortable. I mean, I'm taller, so like the biggest thing that I had to do, because I have a long torso as well, is like just adjust the front windscreen. Once I put this windscreen on, it feels way more just pleasant on the highway. Like the air's not like hitting me directly in the face. The seating position isn't terrible either. It is still a sport bike, so you are up in a more, you know, sporty position. Like the pressure's gonna be more on your wrist, but it's not as aggressive as what some of these other bikes were before in the past. My God. That sounds so good. bike is fairly comfortable, and which is like nice. It still is a sport bike. It gives you that seating position, but it is comfortable as far as sport bikes goes. Just like how they, I mean, but I would say, granted, I sat on an R7. I haven't really ridden one. This is, I would say, a bit more aggressive seating position. You're still like more in that aggressive position in this bike versus that. But, you know, I think it's fine. And then the other thing is that, yeah, I didn't expect at all. This gets way more attention than what I expected. There's numerous times where people were like, what is that? I think because the fact that they're new, but also just the fact that they look different. The styling is very subjective. I mean, I like the way that they look. Obviously, I bought one, but I've had people at like gas stations. This one guy was like, what is that? He was so shocked. I've had it a couple times. People like literally were like, whoa, what is that? Like the one guy thought this was some type of BMW. Like I was just like, no, it's definitely not. But he thought it was a much bigger bike. So, wow. These shifts are crazy, dude. Love the way this thing sounds. Oh my goodness. Which way am I gonna go? I don't really know. I'm just out here exploring, having a good time. That's what I love on bikes. You can just like go and kind of explore. Can I make a right here? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna just go this way. Oh man, these bikes are still so much fun. You can have a lot of fun with this bike. You can still lanes filter with this thing pretty easily. It's so small. But yeah, looks are subjective, but I've had a couple times people were like, yeah, that bike looks really cool. And honestly, I mean, looks are subjective, but yeah, that's one thing. If you're gonna buy a bike, you want to make sure that you like the way it looks, like when at least you get off it, you know. And I don't know, I can safely say, especially now, I really like the way that this bike looks. I really like the way that this bike, you know, just feels. It's a fun bike. I'm having fun with it. Is it the fastest thing in the world? No, but you know what? That's okay. Doesn't have to be. But guys, if you want to really see like what this bike is like on the open highway for long stretches of time, check out this video on the screen. This was my road trip video when I went down to Vegas and back. It was a great time. Check that video out. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys in the next video.